It has actually been a good year for books. It was about time. I've had so many bad years for books. We have plenty of good reads for 2025. I've chosen my top 6. It might not look like it here, but this year there was the introduction of a Kindle. So they're not all physical forms. But I would say this year has been more good than bad. That is what we are after. It has taken so long. But let's get to it. I'm going to go in chronological order because I just feel like that's the best way to go. I don't personally like it where it's like worst to best, whatever. We're going to go in chronological order. And the first one of the year was Temple of Fortuna by Elodie Harper. Now this is a third book. I know, but it was my favourite book of the trilogy. This made it all worth it. I loved it. So the first book is The Wolf Den by Elodie Harper. I've talked about it in a few of my book videos before, but the basic premise of this book is you are following a character, and that character is one of the Greek slave girls that were taken by the Romans in Pompeii. And the way she starts her story is she is a prostitute in Pompeii, and it follows the entirety of her journey, and this one is the final one. I love this. This was a 5-star read. Not all of the books in this list are 5 stars because I am a very picky reader, but I think all of these are my favourite ones of the year. But this was a 5-star read. I absolutely adored it. The first one I felt like was a little bit hard to get through at very specific points, but this one, beautiful. Would highly recommend this series. Even though I'm saying it's hard to get through, it's worth it. I also think that it's just a really realistic and humanizing portrayal of like a Greek slave. I feel like we read a lot of books about Greek mythology and Roman mythology, whereas this is like, no, this is what Greek slaves went through in Pompeii and throughout the rest of the Roman Empire. I really think it is a good one to read if you like Greek stories. Maybe stray away from the mythology for a little bit and try this. I think it was really humanizing and really good. Next one is Faebound by Saara El-Arifi. I love this book. I think first up, she is pretty. Is that not one of the most beautiful covers you've ever seen? It is, in my opinion. Now, I hadn't heard anything about this book. I picked it up because of the cover. I'm not gonna lie. I am a judgy by your cover kind of gal. So I picked it up because it was pretty. I don't know how much of this is online, right? But when I looked at the reviews after I'd finished reading it, they weren't the best. But me, I gave this a 5-star. It is the start of I'm not sure if it's going to be a trilogy or if it's going to be a series. I hope it's a series. Because I really enjoyed it. It is fantasy, so it's a fantasy book. It's pure fantasy. It is elven, fae, that type of realm. I wouldn't say it's like a romance fantasy. It is a fantasy. There's definitely romance elements in it, but I'd say it's more just a fantasy with a romance in it rather than focusing on the romance. Let me read the blurb to you because I don't think I'm going to do a good job of summarising it. As a warrior in the elven army, Yrinn knows she'll die on the battlefield, but her sister Lettel, a diviner, seeks prophecies of a better future. When a fatal mistake leads Yrinn's exile from the elven lands, the sisters are forced in a terrifying wilderness beyond their borders. There they encounter the Fae court. As Yrinn and Lettel are thrust into the Fae's seductive world, they're torn between their loyalty to each other and their hearts. Welcome to the intoxicating world of the Fae. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful book. It's beautiful on the outside and it's beautiful on the inside. It's beautiful. It is so diverse and inclusive as well. It's an all-rounder in my opinion. I don't know why people didn't like it. I loved it. I cannot wait to read the next one. I can't wait. Next up we have the first Kindle book. Now, it's Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. I got it on the Kindle because I don't like reading hardbacks. I'm not doing it. I ain't. So I have nicked my partner's Kindle to read it. What can I say about this book? You'll have heard about it. It's the Hunger Games prequel. Well, the other Hunger Games prequel. It is Haymage's story. This book. Read it so quick. It is so good. Heartbreaking. Don't get me wrong. We are thoroughly in the Hunger Games world where it's just like so it's brutal to get through, but it is a good book. What did I rate it? Another 5-star book. It was brilliant. I love Suzanne Collins' writing. I think she is the easiest author to read that I've ever read, if that makes sense. Every book is just incredibly easy. Like, it doesn't even feel like reading. It just feels like you're just consuming this world. It is like watching the movies over days or however long it takes you to read it. It's incredible. Her writing is just out of this world. I love it. And it is so deep and it's just so good. I would say if you are on the fence about reading it, for me, with all of the Hunger Games book, I read Ballad before it came out as a movie, and obviously the trailer is now out for Sunrise on the Reaping. The books are deeper. They are deeper. So if you want like a deeper experience, read the book first. But if you're a films person through and through, that's fine, just wait. I would just say read it after. make sure you read it after. I've currently got my partner reading Ballad of Songbird and Snakes well after the movies came out, because I was like, no, you don't understand. There's so much more, there's so much deepness, because you are able to understand the characters a lot better, and he agrees. So I would just say, read it before or read it after, but read it if you like The Hunger Games. At this point, I don't know how people can't like The Hunger Games though. Anyway, next up we are on the last physical book. It is Voyage of the Damned by Frances White. This was such a fun one. I thought this was such a fun book. It is a murder mystery, but it is a fun one. I would say it is such a blend of fantasy, mystery, and YA. Like, I know YA is a controversial one as to whether it's actually a genre or not, but this feels YA when you're reading it. It has humour in there as well, which is why I think I find it so like pure YA. It also is another one that has just this most beautiful cover, like so pretty. I gave this a 4.75. Let me read the blurb for you. For 1,000 years, Concordia has maintained peace between its provinces. To mark this incredible feat, the Emperor's ship embarks upon a 12-day voyage to the sacred goddess's mountain. Aboard are the heirs to the 12 provinces of Concordia, each graced with a unique and secret magical ability known as a blessing, except one, Ganymedes Passero, class clown, slacker, and all-round disappointment. But when a beloved heir is murdered, every one of the powerful people becomes a suspect. Now Ganymedes, alone and vulnerable without a blessing, must become the hero he was never born to be. With the body count rising, can he unmask the killer before they reach the shore? It sounds like a murder mystery, but it is full fantasy as well. It, like I say, it also has elements of humour in there. I think, like, I love this so much. I just wish it took itself a tiny bit more seriously. I would have read this as a fantasy series when I think it is just meant to be like a standalone. It's got a very well-rounded ending, so I think it is going to be just a standalone book. I would have read this. I love the world. Like, I think the world within this is so interesting. I 100% would have read more of these, so I just wish it took itself a little bit more seriously as a fantasy book rather than just a murder mystery. So it is a shame, but it is still such a fun book to read. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much because I am very picky when it comes to fantasies, and I also don't really enjoy murder mysteries. I'm a thriller or a fantasy person. I don't really like murder mysteries, detectives, and I don't particularly like, I don't know, I am just picky on fantasies, but I really, really loved this. And you're also getting just a stunning book from it as well. Now, the last two are digital copies. First up, again, it is another sequel, and it's A Family of Liars by E. Lockhart. Right, I think I scored this so highly because the order that I did it, right, was I read We Were Liars last year before. Really enjoyed it. It is a really, really good book. If you haven't read the first one and you haven't watched the Prime show, read the book. But I read the first book however long ago, and then I watched the Prime show, which was excellent. It was so good. I am a very tough critic when it comes to adaptations, and I actually really, really liked that adaptation. Then I went straight into reading the second book. That combination was perfect. It was lovely. It felt like I was fully immersed in that world, and it carried that on. So I think that's why I enjoyed this so much. So if you can, watch the show and then read the second book, because it was just perfect, because everything was still so fresh. I had the people right in my head. I don't know why, I just really love I just really love this world, like this characters. It's so like rich white people energy, but I love the it's not perfect and this is actually what they're like type vibe. I just think it's great. I also just loved learning more depth into the mother's characters and also the grandfather. I wouldn't say it's as strong of or as interesting as a plot as the first one. I'm not going to give any spoilers, because if you haven't read this book or watched the show, do not read anything before going into it. But I wouldn't say it's as interesting as the first one, but it's still very good. I would say there's an element in there that makes it as nearly as interesting as the first one, and I am looking forward to read the third one. I actually have theories about what this is going to be already because I am a thriller person. My brain is always like, what's happening next? And I haven't read anything about the third book, but I have a theory on what it's going to be. So another series that I would highly recommend. The final one is The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. Now, as of recording this, I just finished this book like 2-3 days ago, and I loved it. I actually read this book because Emma Thompson recommended it in an interview. I saw somebody was giving her the question of, if you could do a film adaptation of any book, what would you pick? And she said she's trying to get a film adaptation of this book. So that was my main motivation for reading it. I I'm a sucker for trying to read books before they come out as TV or film adaptations. I also have like dabbled in Greek stuff. It's not my biggest genre. I don't fully like delve into it like some people. I've read a handful, but when she recommended it, I wanted like a shorter book, because I think this book's like 300 pages. Yeah, 325. I was like, perfect, I'll just read it now before I get into the Christmas kind of genre. And one of my favourite books ever is Circe by Madeline Miller. And I love that so much because it's literally like start to end and it's just somebody's life. Like, I love that kind of book where it's not reliant on a really like twisty and heavy plot. It is just somebody's life and it's just like, this is how it happens. And Silence of the Girls is very much like that. You aren't there for the plot. Don't get me wrong, there is still a good plot, but you are there for the person. But you are just watching somebody's life evolve. The main premise of this one is you are following a Troy slave to the Greek army. This is mythology, so this isn't based on like actual history, but it is the Troy slaves to the Greek army and it's Achilles' slave girl. And you just go through her. You definitely, when I was reading the blurb and hearing what Emma Thompson said at this interview, I was expecting it to be just her and just like Achilles was just in the background. It's not that. You definitely do get Achilles' story within this, but the main focus is her and the people around her and the people in the camp with her. And it is again another really humanistic story of a slave and just the reality of that. And obviously this is mythology, but I definitely think it has been written in a way of like, this is actually how it would be to be a slave. I don't think I was worried going into this that you were going to need to know a lot about mythology to go into it, and I definitely think your knowledge of mythology will help, but I don't think you necessarily need to have the mythology knowledge to go into it. I think having some knowledge around the war between the Troys and Greeks would be good. Some knowledge of Achilles and Patroclus's, I'd have no idea how to say that, please don't come for me. Their relationship, I'd only really read Song of Achilles and I knew a little bit about the war before that, but I think that knowledge did help me a little bit with this, but I don't think you need it. You just might not be as aware of what's going on with Helen and all that kind of stuff. But I absolutely loved it. I would say if you are looking for a more plot heavy book, probably stay away from it and get back to it when you're in the mood for just like take along with you as you learn about somebody's life type thing. But I rated it a 4.5 and thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm very much hoping that Emma Thompson is able to get it made into a movie because I think that would be super interesting. Anyway, that was it. Like I say, there've been a lot more good books this year as well. It's not just these ones. I do sometimes do all the books I've read this year in January. I didn't do it last year because I didn't have any like requests for it, but if anybody wants to see that video, comment on this video and let me know, because like I said, I won't do it if people don't want it. But if you do want to see all of the books that I read this year, because there were some bad ones in there as well as some good ones, so I can tell you what to read and what to not to read. So if you do want to see that, let me know. But if you've enjoyed this one, please, any engagement would be very, very appreciated. So that is liking the video, commenting on the video, sharing the video, subscribing if you are new, and also using YouTube's new hype feature that is down below. You can give me hype points and hopefully that allows me to be seen by a few more people, as I am a very small channel, but I would appreciate any engagement. But even if you don't do any of those things, thank you so much for making it to the end, and I shall hopefully see you in another video.